Okay,
In their eyes.
facilitate the proceedings in panel. Let's go around the room and introduce the panel members.
Hi, I'm Victoria Tramalio with 80 Shots at Stonebridge.
Diane McKeel, Elmore County.
Dale Sanders, Holiday Inn.
Chip Morrell's Thomas Jefferson Planning District and the NPO.
Morgan Butler, Southern Environmental Law Center.
Kathy Galvin, Charleston City Council.
Mark Graham, Albemarle County.
And the technical team, start with that.
Hal Jones, VDOT Charlottesville resident.
Chuck Parker, Public District Planning.
Anthony Donald with Michael Baker. And Paul Prudhoe with Michael Baker.
Lou Hatter, VDOT Communications.
Joel DiMarzio, VDOT Charlottesville residency.
Carol Clancy, VDOT Engineering for Charlottesville.
Very good. All right. So, we had 61 views of our YouTube session last time. No inbox or phone messages. We did get a little bit on the website, and basically wanted to chronicle our work up to date, make sure it was preserved for time capsule or something. So we certainly will be doing all that, but we want to make sure we've got it all readily available and accessible for public viewing for however long we need to.
It's nice they were thinking about it.
Yeah. And here are some of the items that we had to take action on from our last meeting. We wanted to revise a statement regarding the importance of transit. We had a paragraph, we enhanced it a little bit. Anthony and Paul will go over that a little bit later. And we also had some conceptual drawing revisions to show the sidewalks in the hydraulic 29 intersection area. So those have been enhanced a little bit. And then we decided after some nice discussion how we wanted to package our applications. And the first one was everything together, throwing the 18 million we had to offer to get all in one. And then we had two separate packages beyond that. The first were improvements A through C, that was along hydraulic, and we were going to toss 8 million towards that. And then the third package was down near Angus, and the improvements down in there, we were going to throw 10 million at that. So that's what we all agreed upon last session. And we've made some progress on that scenario one sketch with regards to the sidewalk and other features, and we've re-engaged with the transit agencies, so I'll turn it over to the transportation folks and let them elaborate a little bit further.
Sure. Okay. So this is probably the final rendition of this sketch, but certainly if anyone sees anything, we still have time to tweak things. So what's happened to this since you last saw it? We had not identified all the driveways that should be in place. So if you look carefully, you start to see curb cuts throughout the area. These are all providing access to existing properties. But we just wanted to put them there. Before we just kind of showed them, you might have gotten the impression it was closed off, but it wasn't. So that's identified. All the sidewalks and crosswalks are delineated at the various locations, and you can see the underpass, the pedestrian underpass has a broken line, a dotted line there, with a little legend over on the left. So a few disclaimer statements that may have been there before, but it's conceptual, subject to design, and things like that. So we just wanted to roll that out, and if you see something now or if you see something soon, then just let us know.
Didn't take Mark long. I'll drop that in.
Cedar Hill, I was trying to determine, is that a right out only?
Yes.
So there's no in, it's just an out?
That's right.
Okay, just want to make sure I saw that.
Again, that's also subject to change based on how that roundabout fits and the design and spacing. But that's the intent.
Right. Shouldn't we change the blue line? Shouldn't we like pedestrian thing?
True.
Because basically that's.
We're not saying bikes cannot,
Why does,
they probably be walking, but still, that's, so yes, we'll do that, you got it.
Yeah, Del.
So I know I've seen some VDOT surveyors in the area already. At this stage, we're not anticipating the entrances to hotel and some of the other properties on 29 to change.
You mean as a result of this construction, or you mean in the near term?
As a result of the construction.
Let's see.
I know we had anticipated that perhaps the entrance to the Holiday Inn, for example, would move further south.
I mean, everything,
Yeah,
That's
correct.
exactly where it Yeah, is. everything that we're showing currently is essentially in place as it is today. And is also consistent with the changes we discussed throughout the process of what entrance would have, what potential effect. So yeah, currently we're hoping to keep everything as is, but again, it's subject to change. Got it. What will come out of the design process.
Yeah, isn't there supposed to be sidewalk, bike-ped access on the level of the 29 to get it down from one side to the other?
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Because you can't tell that that's supposed to be happening on the side. To get, to cross over, to get to the underpass.
making,
Moving north
North,
south
south.
on.
Yes.
Yeah, and then crossing over to turn lanes.
yeah, that's still part of the plan. It's just
But,
not-
yeah, but it needs to be indicated in some way, or else people are gonna say that.
And I'm not sure if that's also as a part of the narrative of the application.
I know, yeah, the narrative is there, but again, those graphics are the first thing people see.
Just,
Yeah, I've got it. And to that end, you know, because we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, you'll notice that little caveat in the upper right there. You know, we talked early on about lines on maps and so forth. You know, the conceptual nature of this is noted up there,
Sure.
so it's not, people don't take it.
No, that's absolutely accurate and
Yeah.
right.
so what would the plan be for pedestrian and bike movement from the southwest quadrant to, let's say, the northwest quadrant?
The roundabout's one option, but what, go ahead.
The plan that we had settled on was there would be protected bike and pedestrian access adjacent to the 29 through movement. And then that's accessed from the sidewalk here by an unsignalized crossing of the right turn lane. Then they would proceed along 29, and then there's a similar unsignalized crossing, the right turn there as well. And that's where we get into sort of our switchback here of having two sides to allow people. To Kathy's point, is there any, I know this is conceptual, is there any way to depict that? Because that's going to be something.
Yeah, we need to. It's consistent.
We've got that noted.
That's
It
the way
doesn't
we, that's
pop.
the way we showed it to the public, and you're right, we will put it on.
One other question. Going down to Angus, if they decide to just fund ABC, we talked about a U-turn down to Angus. Would that still be provided with ABC?
That's a good point, I don't, that's.
There is a crossover.
Yeah.
There's a crossover there now at the entrance to the hotel.
Well, he was up last night, but that was a lie.
Say that again. I wouldn't think it would be.
But the crossover that's at the entrance to the hotel, there now, existing crossover, I don't think we touch it. I think we're out of the ground before we impact the grade before we get to the application. Just off the bottom of
So
the
you can
map.
make a U-turn
Right,
at that
it's-
crossover.
There's a
It's a little bit further down
crossover.
here, it's like right down at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, right here, this would remain.
Oh, okay, so there would still be that turn.
You can still turn around there.
Okay. Thinking about you, Dale. Thank you.
Any other questions on this conceptual drawing?
It does help though, having the added details.
I agree.
Okay.
Next subject is about transit, I'll let you talk about that, and I'll wrap up.
So I think the last meeting, we had provided a pretty broad statement that was going to be included as a part of the smart scale applications. We got your feedback on that as to how we can change that. And also what we're attempting to do with re-engaging the transit agency. We have revised the statement based on your comments and then added a couple pieces here and there. In coordination with Cat and John, the project will include transit improvements such as new or relocated stops, bus shelters, and/or route modifications. We want to leave that, again, pretty wide open to allow ourselves some flexibility with Cat and John to see what would be most beneficial for them. And then the transit system is an important component to this growing community. And transit improvements to the network will help improve accessibility, connectivity, and study area. We added that in because we wanted to help convey the feelings of the panel and how important that is as part of this application. And what we've done in the last week is try to identify some opportunities just in a fairly broad manner, and then re-engage Cat and John to determine what exactly they think are going to be the most prudent points for us to include in this application. We haven't gotten any feedback from them yet, but we'll follow up next week to keep that conversation going. But I'll walk through that a little bit here. So there are three routes for Cat that go through the study area. And what we did with them is identified the three routes that they could look at either improving, modifying, or would see an improvement based on travel time. And then within those routes, look at the stops that are within the project areas that, oh no, what's happening? We're going to get stick and post starting to blame. Yeah, so here's Route 5. That starts at Barracks and ends up, I think, up north around Rye. And we see it comes up Georgetown, comes down Hydraulic, and then up Commonwealth. So we have a couple of stops here around those intersections that you can see either a bus shelter or maybe because of a route modification, that stop moves to make it easier for people to use or service some more people here. But again, we're going to really lean on Cat and John more than us trying to dictate.
And we're not going to expect them to make a decision and to go on record, right? Because
Correct.
it's out of their cycle of, so, but
No, we want to just try to.
as much as we can get them to say, we'll have the right to say disclaimers.
What we want to look at.
Yeah, but they are doing their TDPs, transit development.
And this was part of the discussion.
Go back to that
Right.
last slide, just a minute.
This chip has the workforce.
It's no longer there.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. I
Yeah,
thought-
it's over kind of behind Fashion Square Mall now.
So then-
And I think even that's very likely temporarily, for just a few years, but.
Let's don't get giddy, because we got a fast slide. We'll take that off.
These are the route maps.
Yeah, that's from TAP, yeah.
And it's a pretty recent,
But we can,
it's very recent.
but we could walk that
Just
down.
walk
But I think, I mean, to be exact, it's no longer there.
Okay. Thanks for writing that down, Craig.
Yep.
We can
Oh,
lock that
no,
up.
that's true too. Shops the same deal, actually.
Okay.
The next route is Route 7, and that starts down the downtown mall, and then comes up, finishes up near Fashion Square Mall. Goes through Semple Square and the shops at Stonefield, and there are, again, a handful of stops within our project areas that would be considered for either improvement, relocation, or upgrade, depending on what opportunities CAT sees. And then the last
Same issue on that one.
yeah, and that'll carry through, because
You
they,
can get the shops at Sunnyvale on the right side in the first slide, to be honest with you, you're gonna correct it.
because this is Commonwealth here, this isn't 29, so is that still?
Oh, that's right, okay. I was looking at, I was looking at.
Yeah,
I was
29.
looking at it at the wrong
Yeah,
side.
me
Sorry.
29 's
Actually,
coming.
haven't.
We-
Yeah.
we-
I just saw it through the top.
Sorry, the road network's a little hazy.
Yeah, okay.
So there's no direct access.
Okay.
Wow.
The last route is Route 8, which also starts down in downtown mall, so it circulates through Seminole and Stonefield. And again, a lot of these stops are consistent with some of the other routes. So it's really about optimizing where those locations fit across each route.
You will move the work towards.
Yeah, do all three.
Trying to be purchased, but they're still. So you have to.
There's nothing else on that.
Yeah, the last subject we had before we wanted to have a general discussion about the smart scale application process and kind of the status of where it is. We wanted to put this up on the screen. One thing we're doing right now that we'll end up sharing with this group is writing these sections. You know, we're gonna report the transportation work that we've done as part of that plan, as part of the small area plan. It's going to be a chapter or section. So these are just some of the subsections we expect. It's very traditional, existing conditions, future, no build, defining all of that, and then working its way down to preferred alternatives. And so that's just a sneak peek of what we're writing, and it's going to have figures and graphics and text and everything. So you'll see that as a draft and be able to comment so we can get finalized, and then that will end up being attached to the smart scale applications as an uploaded PDF. And the whole thing, the whole document, the whole small area plan. So that's all. There's no question there. It's just a matter of, oh, and these are some dates. Our goal is to have some internal review, kind of technical team and staff early in July, and then around the 12th is to provide that brief to you. And then we'll talk later in this meeting about what's our schedule for next meetings like this. The idea would be you get this, and then we have another meeting sometime after that and before this, right? And that's a proposal to meet in this room and talk about your comments on that. So that was it for our content. But what we thought made sense now, and I don't know if it's Chuck or Tip, or it's just to kind of ask for a little update on the application process, because we're not really in those weeds as much. So we're standing ready and providing things as needed, but we're not typing into a keyboard about the application.
Yeah, so we'd like to give that update.
I can get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
As of June 8th, which was the extended date, closing date for the three applications, the MPO had entered in all three of the applications, and the city had actually entered in the one for the Turn Lane project on 250. So they're all in and through the pre-application phase and into the application phase. So it's just a matter of getting the application material in and filled out. That we have over the next month and a half, we can get that finished. So I'll work with the MPO to make sure we get all that stuff. Wood's getting ready to go on vacation, but I think Jacob's taking up all of that, getting that information, and we'll be working closely with him to make sure we get all the details.
And Anthony and I have been staying in touch with Chuck about any technical information he needs to make sure the application's complete. You know, any little modeling output or some kind of any numbers and quantitative information. So just recently we've been talking to him about that. So we'll continue to do that.
So I think overall we're in good shape right now.
I mean, I would just say we're in great shape. I mean, most of the smart scale applications that are going in, they don't have near this much work that's gone into it. It's more of, this is how we intend to go from point A to point B, and here's how much we think it's going to cost, and, it's some more detail. But we've been working basically on these applications for a year.
Yeah.
So giving them input.
Just for a grin, as a consulting firm, we work for other counties and MPS. There are some other applicants who haven't started. And they've asked us to help them put together a smart scale application that hasn't started.
That's my
And it's
point.
next week we're
Yeah.
gonna start.
Yeah.
They must have done poorly.
Okay, so as you can tell, we're really winding down. Most of the details have been decided, and we're well along with the application process. So our next steps, are focusing on that transportation section of the small area plan that Paul presented the outline of just a couple slides ago. And to reiterate his schedule, going to be ready for this panel review around the time we're scheduled to meet next time, which is, well, no, it's in 2 times. July 12th, I believe.
Is it later? The 12th and the 26th would be the second.
So I think we're scheduled to meet 2 weeks from today, which is the 28th, which I'm not sure is necessary. We don't really have much to talk about. And then the next scheduled meeting would be on the 12th. But if you're not getting the draft report until the 12th, there's really not much sense meeting then either. So one of the things we talked about was maybe getting off of our second Thursday and fourth Thursday of the month schedule and going in July. Perhaps our last meeting is July the 19th, which is the 3rd Thursday of the month. And that'll give everyone about a week to have looked at the draft report, and we can come up here and meet again, probably for the final time, and hear what everyone's comments are on that draft. And then the team will go back and incorporate things and submit it in final form on the 28th. So how does everyone feel about skipping a couple of meetings and going to the 19th?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Correct.
We need to check the availability of this room.
Yeah, I think that's been done.
It is
We'll report on
available.
that.
It's already lined up. We've got it penciled in.
Yeah, so we thought about that, one of our coordination calls. It looks like the runway's been cleared, so. Anyway, just reaction to that meeting date and that being our final meeting as a panel.
That date actually suits me better than the 12th. I couldn't make it work, so.
Okay.
For me, that's the first thing I'm going to have.
And for personal reasons, it was moved. For some of the technical
Oh,
details.
okay. So,
So, yeah.
so the 19th, then, is that what we're?
Yeah.
Great.
How does that suit?
Everybody,
With everybody?
2 o'clock?
o'clock?
Same time, same place, let's go.
Of course.
Great.
You got a conflict?
I'm the guy with this signal, but I've got something that afternoon. Is there any way we could do it earlier?
That's fine.
Have to check on the availability of the room. We checked at the normal time and it's available. I don't know about the morning, but we can check on that.
Don't remember, I think there may have been a meeting here in the morning, but I'll double check.
Okay, is that something we can do before we leave?
Yeah,
today?
I'll run down and see if I can find Rudy right now.
Okay, all right.
Morgan, how much?
Thank you, Lou.
Does one help, or?
I think as long as we were, I think it could allude to.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what it says. Doesn't have to be like 9 o'clock.
No, it doesn't have to be.
A celebratory lunch.
That's what we did for the route training.
Oh,
I will not be here.
oh,
that day,
no.
but
Where are you,
that's not a
where are you going?
basketball
Oh,
tournament.
I was gonna say.
That's important business.
It really is.
Going back. to-
Good luck, how's your 3-point shot?
Well, yeah, they're waiting on me. It's kind of a neat one. Last year, my son was in it. He played against.
Oh, I thought it was your.
No, shit, no. He played against LeBron's sons.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Not well, but.
What are you gonna say he did it? Oh, wow.
Is his son as physically mature at his age as his dad was?
I don't know, but they're dang sure good.
Yeah.
Craig, can I change this up, just say, Kathy, let me ask you a question. I know it's only a half a point or not much of a gig, but, and with Kurt not here, I can't confirm it, but I don't think that the comprehensive plan has been changed for the city yet to reflect
Oh,
the
it's-
small area plan.
It has. It's been
Has?
appended to the comp plan. It is.
Okay.
We're all set.
So you're done.
Excuse
We're all
me.
done. That's
Excuse
good.
me. Good.
You got that half point. And you get the UDA language in there. Mark.
Yeah, ours is not actually in the comprehensive plan, but it's been endorsed and it's scheduled to be done as part of the Places 29.
Places 29 refers to major intersection improvements, that 29.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Already.
It doesn't really specify what, it's as long as it's referenced.
So we're okay. That was our
That's what I said,
understanding.
because this intersection is already referenced in the comp plan. Yeah, so, and long range. So, that's what I thought we were in good shape. The biggest issue was the EDA. Thing for the city.
While
The
we're
urban development
waiting for
area.
Lou to get
Development area,
back,
reference.
is everybody comfortable with a week's turnaround once you get the draft on the 12th, being able to review it and come prepared with comments just a week later? Is that enough time?
And I was wondering if it would be helpful if we had any discussion about kind of the lobbying we might do, or reaching out to other people in the CTV, or anything like that, or does that matter? Does it just not matter?
You need to find a way to get in touch with Shannon Collins.
Well, we've done that, but I,
Well, I mean, is it?
All read once, you know.
Yeah, I think until the scores,
they already know we've been very high achieving.
The scores come out in January or something?
Oh, they come in January, okay.
The only other one that might have some influence from behind the scenes would be Mark Peak from Lynchburg, who has really been pushing for a bypass or expressway, you don't care which, he just wants to get traffic through here. And he's in a pretty influential position right now.
Lou's back, what do you got for us, Lou?
There's a meeting until noon, but it's free all afternoon.
Oh,
Well, maybe noon would work.
We can do that.
If I can get about 15 minutes to get the equipment set up,
Yep.
so maybe 12:15, 12:30?
Is 12:30 okay? 12:30.
Okay. And we already have it reserved for the entire afternoon, so as far as they're concerned, we're good.
So the 19th at 12:30.
12:30 on July 19th next week. Your last one.
Put some thought in advance how we can go through everyone's suggestions that really efficiently, go page by page, or Kathy, what are your comments? I just want to make sure if that's the one meeting we're going to have to discuss that is if we do it in a way that we
yeah, and so Ron, Robin, and 2 minutes each or
I
something.
think there's more discussion, maybe it's a matter of we all send our definitions and everything's okay with them.
And you could maybe just take that time to make a few points, like I didn't see enough comment about something.
Right.
But
Yeah, if we have some time to compile it ahead of time, we can say there was a lot of comment on this particular section. And we won't go over the wordsmithing type stuff, but the substantive comments that, warrant some discussion will certainly be on the table. So maybe we can kind of consolidate and get those out ahead of time to the extent we can, depending on when we get your comments.
Yeah, let's get it done.
A little bit before we get out there. We'll try to get it as organized as we can so that it's efficiently run. That's an excellent point because you don't want it shotgun styles scattered all over the place. So we'll give that some thought and let you know how we're going to proceed. Anyway, okay, so we'll be working on the transportation section. We'll continue assistance as needed, requested from those that are filling out the applications. Draft report schedule, draft here on the 12th, meeting on the 19th, and then final report on the 29th. And towards the August 1st submission deadline. And then we talked about the meetings, 28th and 12th have now been superseded by noon there. It'll be July 19th and we won't do the 26th. And
Would the meeting on the 19th be our last?
yes,
So we will hold parliaments on the 19th.
that's the intent.
And as I said before, if we do get funding, we'll develop a project development panel, so we will
Oh, good.
continue that process once we, if we don't get funding.
And that's January we find out.
That's right.
No, it's not until June.
Oh, we get the scores in January, so we know whether it's coming or not.
Yeah, it'll be about a year. It'll be about a year, right,
Okay.
from now.
Yes.
And then that's when advocacy, I would think, starts, after we get the.
Okay,
schools.
that's good to
Does that
know,
help?
that helps,
So-
because,
Winter, late winter, spring, we kind of.
We're not having any funding
okay, okay, that's good.
I have one question.
Yeah.
We haven't really discussed it, because the city's submitting it. Do you guys need documentation to support your term extension?
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Okay.
Oh, for the bypass to hydraulic?
Yeah, well, term extension, so I just wanted to make sure that we include something in the document for you. So, okay.
Great.
Good then.
Okay. With that, I guess I'd like to make an announcement that this is Dell's last meeting. He is going to be changing positions and no longer representing the property he's currently managing, and I'm not sure if the transitional person will be at the next meeting or not, but Dell, I wanted to personally thank you for your contributions and attendance and helping us move this forward. It's been a pleasure working with you.
I expect that might be at the July 19th.
Oh, okay, good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Okay.
to prematurely cut you out, sorry.
And the principal of the new owner will like to participate as well. It's certainly been a pleasure serving with all of you. I think we've done some good work, and I'm looking forward to some good things coming out.
Yeah,
Best
we
of
still
luck in
see
your
you
new
in the
position.
area, because you have another job.
I'll be based in Charlottesville,
Yeah.
and I'll be working in the area.
Yeah, so you're not going anywhere,
No,
just shifting places.
Very good.
Well, and all the times we were able to meet in your hotel, much appreciated.
Yes.
The Meadows community really appreciated that too, I'm sure. So thanks.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, good luck, though.
Thank you.
So with that, we stand adjourned to the
Oh my
meeting.
God.
Oh, excuse me, let me just run down the action items. I forgot to mention those. First one is to show the bike lane along US 29 on the elevated section that wasn't depicted clearly on the conceptual drawing. We're also going to change the transit graphics to eliminate the Virginia Workforce Center. And then the last thing was just the change in the meeting schedule, July 19th, 12:30 to 2:30 right here. Anything else?
Thank you,
Now
thank
we're
you,
adjourned.
Greg, for being our leader.
Oh, it's been a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much. We'll have to post and everything on that. That's great. Right.